Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas.
Hi, I'm Jackie Pellegrin.
This is Coaching 101, a space for growth, accountability, transformation, where insight meets action and people learn to move forward with purpose. With purpose, Miss Jackie. How are you, partner?
I'm doing good today. How are you?
I'm fabulous and excellent. Busy, always like you. And
Yes.
another episode, another great topic, accountability without control, helping clients. Interesting indeed. So what do you think? What is all about, Ms. Karen?
So for me, the North Star here is about redefining accountability as ownership, not pressure. We don't want to put pressure on clients. So helping them to feel like they're part of the process and they have ownership in that.
Certainly. Accountability works best when it's chosen, not imposed. Don't you think people defend their freedom rationally? When you
Yes.
feel controlled, resistance increases, ownership disappears, partnership collapses. So you mean to say
Right.
you're not a good coach?
Right. Yeah. You
Our
don't want to
aim,
force it. Yeah.
don't force it. There are some coaches that would say instead of their coaching, they always saying do this, do that, do this, do this.
Right. Yes. Yeah. The key between accountability and control is accountability is chosen responsibility where you're working with them to review what they need to help move forward, right? But
Mm,
control is where you have pressure, guilt, enforcement. And like you said, those don't work. You get somebody that shuts down, somebody that's not willing to do the work they need to do, and like you said, the partnership ends up falling apart too. So not a good thing.
Not a good thing, people. The coach is not a supervisor. The relationship is collaborative
Yes.
and not a managerial. Influence replaces authority. Innovation replaces demand. And growth
Mm,
becomes mutual work.
absolutely. I like how you mentioned that a coach is not a supervisor or a boss, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
You're
the
not
key
a
right
boss.
there. Right. You don't want some, like, for example, a lot of people don't like managers that micromanage, right? That hover over you and watch your every move, right? So
Hmm.
clients don't like that in coaching either. They don't like to feel like they're being micromanaged and told what to do all the time. No one likes that, right? But you don't
Yes.
like it in coaching. Yeah, you're not. I don't think a client would go back and see that coach if that was happening. I think they
Mm.
would look for another coach, probably. I know I would. if that was
They will
if
fire
that was
you.
happening to me, I would be like, time to
Uh,
look for someone else that's not as demanding and
yeah.
helicopter, right? No
Yes.
micromanagement.
Mhm. For sure, 100%. The client will fire you if you do that. Clients also follow through more consistently on goals they help design. Yeah, participation generates
Yes.
commitments, agency fuels motivation, and people support what they create. Engagement
Right.
deepens,
Mm-hmm.
just like a
Absolutely.
tango, as they said.
Right. Yes, it's so important that we go back to that ownership and also that partnership, right? So if
Hmm.
the client feels like they're part of the process, they don't feel like they're an outsider. They feel like they're part of their
Family.
own process. Yes,
Hmm.
exactly. And if you as a coach do that throughout the process and you involve them, it's like that there's this one quote I always give to my students in my class, and it's by Benjamin Franklin. It's one of my favorites, and I think it can apply to coaching too. It says, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. So the same applies for coaching too, pretty much anything. But that's a really good quote, Benjamin Franklin. I think that
Yes.
all coaches can remember, because in a way you are teaching, right? You're teaching in a different way, but you are teaching. So that last part, involve me and I learn. They're going to learn to be better at what they're wanting to come to you for, right? So whatever it is that what their goals are and what they're looking to achieve, they're going to do it. Like you said, they're going to be consistent. They're going to do it on a regular basis if they feel like they're involved in the process and not just being, dictated at and just say, here, do this and do that. But why do I need to do this? Right. And come
Yes.
alongside them, right, and let them be part of the process.
Very well said, partner. Very well said. And what a nice quote indeed.
Yes.
Clients also follow through more consistently on goals, and they help design. Participation generates commitment, and while sometimes it leads to control, right? Which is the client don't like to be controlled. Control focuses on obedience, which is accountability focus on alignment with declared intentions. One procedure short-term action and the other produces long-term integrity. Coaching aims for integrity, people. So build that integrity so that people will come back to you again and again and again.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's so important because you don't want that accountability to feel like it's parental, right? So how do you keep that from happening, right? Um,
Yes.
yeah, and I think it comes back to even setting agreements that are realistic. So it goes back to I think 2 episodes ago where we were talking about the SMART goals. So same thing. You want to set those agreements that are realistic, that are not going to be something that the client can't follow through with. Also,
Mm-hmm.
I think too, it's important to celebrate progress, but not without complacency. So you want to make sure that progress, you celebrate it all throughout and give the client reasons, right, to be able to continue that. So I think that's important. So I often wonder what's the difference between accountability and compliance, right? Because you want them to follow through, you want them to have
Yes.
accountability, but you don't want it to feel like it's like we're talking about compliance, where it's like,
Commanding.
yeah, because it's not gonna work very well. They're gonna resist.
Definitely. And be careful, people, when you ask them. Just like language matters. You ask your clients, did you do it? And then you sound
Mm,
like policing. And then what
right,
happened?
right,
Opens
exactly.
exploration. Be
Yeah,
careful of those.
yeah, it can almost seem like you're shaming them, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
pitfall I think that every coach should avoid. Don't shame them. Don't overcheck, right? Don't turn that coaching into monitoring. And yeah, and also you don't want to let things slide either. You
Mm-hmm.
know, with no standards. So there's definitely that. That, what am I trying to say, Daniel? Like, you have, it's a balance, right? You want to make sure it's
Sure.
balanced. It's not going one way where it's too loose, and it's not going the other way where it's too structured. There needs to be a balance there, and you'll find it as a coach, I think, over time. Those that are watching and listening later to the episode, I think they'll find what that balance is, because every person, the way they go about coaching is going to be different, just like anything else. We all have our own personality, the way we come across with something, and authenticity is so important. So just make sure it's you that's coming through in that relationship.
Yes, people, language matters. So be careful with your language. If you're asking your clients, be nice, not too nice, but make
Right. You
sure
don't
you
want them walking
asking
all
the
over
right.
you.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
make sure you will have a client now and then, so that they will return for sure. If you're good at what you're doing, people will return what you are doing, or they will take that again and again and again, or what service you are offering. Miscommitment, or yes, miscommitments are information, not crimes.
Right.
Do you think why is not? They are revealed friction, fear, and unrealistic planning.
Absolutely. Right. And I think sometimes too, Daniel, one thing we can do as coaches when we're in a relationship with a client, right, and we're helping them,
Yeah.
is to reframe how we're asking them questions. Maybe instead of it being like, say for example, they missed a goal or they missed a commitment, instead of saying something like, did you do it, See, that sounds kind of like you're attacking them. Maybe swap that
Yes.
for what happened. What's your next choice? See how that sounds like it's more open instead of did you do it? And it's more like yes, no. They're going to shut down. But if you say what happened and what's your next choice, or what are you going to, what can we do next to help you with that, or something like that, it sounds like it's more partnership, more oriented.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. You give the choice to decide your client
Right.
and
Exactly.
give them decisions freely that they are more likely to persist during difficulty. You're
Right.
guiding them. You are not the one who will insist do this instead or do that instead.
Exactly, because when we think about it, clients are adults, they're not children, and children need more guidance, right? Adults, we have to remember who adults are. And this is true in the work I do. And instructors need to remember this, but even in coaching, we need to remember adults have certain things that they let us know that they want and that they need, which is they value autonomy, right? And they
Mm,
value those things a lot. So just remember, you're not trying to coach a little kid, you're trying to coach an adult. And so respect who they are, respect their needs and their wants as well, and who they are as people. So yeah, you're not
mm.
coaching a machine, you're coaching a person.
Speaking of machine people, please do listen to our podcast with a new podcast with Miss Jackie, AI
Mm-hmm.
101, Tech 101. They are something else, people. We are live every Friday, so watch us and listen to us soon wherever you listen your podcasts. Right? I just want to plug our new podcast. Speaking
Yes,
of machines.
machines. Yeah, that was a good little plug. I didn't even plan that one.
So, transparency builds trust, people. When the client should understand why accountability structure exists, nothing is hidden or manipulative. Respect remains visible. Cooperation improves. As I said, don't dictate what your client to do. They need to decide what they want to do. You need to guide them.
Right, right, you do. I think those things work when it helps protect their dignity as a person, as an individual, and it also helps build agency in that individual as well. And I mean, everybody wants that, right? They want to be able to feel
Yes.
like what they have and who they are as a person matters, because I think that at the end of the day, we need to think of each individual that comes to us as an individual and as a unique person. So I think that's important too. You know,
Mhm.
no two clients are the same. That's for sure.
Yes,
Yes.
that definitely. And ask question, a powerful question, people, because powerful question is better than powerful directive.
Yes.
Questions activate thinking. Directiveness can create dependency. Coaches develop leaders, not followers. Independency is success. I
Right.
like that.
I like that
Independence.
too. Yeah. And I would say to those coaches that are, or if you're going into coaching or if you're new at coaching, this is something I've learned from those that are coaches and even counselors too. I mean, there are differences between the two, but one thing I learned is if you feel like you're uncomfortable with asking questions or being able to do that, like you mentioned, maybe practice with people that you know, whether it's friends or family or something like that. And just that way you get comfortable with different people that you can work with on that, and just say to them, hey, I'm new at this and I'm trying to practice and get myself more comfortable with it. Because the last thing you want to do is have all these questions written down on a piece of paper and you're looking down at this piece of paper, because then the client's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, you can say up front, I'm new at this. Please please be patient with me. Please be gracious with me as I learn this. But at the same time, you want to be able to make it genuine. And if you're always looking down on a piece of paper at your cheat sheet or your questions, I don't know, Daniel, what do you think? You think that would be something a little
Mm.
bit hard for a client to be able to
I,
take in? Yeah.
I think no. If
No.
the client is want that way, follow it because you are there to guide them only. If
Mm-hmm.
they do wrong, well, do it again. Do it in a right way. It's just like a matter of experiment.
Right. Right. You're
You
never
are
going to
not
get it
give.
right the first time. Yeah.
Yes, it's something that you. It's a matter of uh, trial and error. If you fail, go back and then do it again. That's
Right.
life. It's uh, a pattern that since the beginning they learn from that trial and error.
Absolutely. Right. Because I've been in my position for 12 years and I still learn new things all the time.
Hmm.
So, yeah, sometimes you're right. We may not get it right the first time, but that's okay. And I think as long as at least for me, if I was to put myself in the shoes of the client, if there was a bad experience with a coach and but the coach recognized that and said, I'm sorry, let's start over or let's try this part again, and we'll do better next time. I think I would appreciate that as a client, because then I would say, okay, they're willing to learn from the mistake and they're willing to move forward with it. So I think having grace is always a good thing, right, when it comes to those
Yes.
things. Mm-hmm.
Very well said, partner. Very well said. So let's celebrate effort is very important. Celebrating those moments that you win something, even very small, because recognition reinforces initiative. People feel seen means they value. Energy returns and momentum rebuilds. Every time your clients see something that is good and you celebrate together, for sure the client be proud of himself or herself. That I
Right.
will do this again and again and again because you are proud of me.
Right.
Even of us, right, Miss Karen, we are very proud of something, even little small, just like doing episode every week. That is a great achievement for us because we are building an empire. Empire.
Right. Something that will
Empire of
outlast us.
podcasts.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Right. I think one thing that can help too when it comes to that, celebrating those small wins, right? Even the little things. It's good to celebrate
Mm.
those. Maybe even the coach could ask their client at the beginning, what are some things that you enjoy doing? Is it taking a walk somewhere? Is it treating yourself to something? Or, and some of the things, like you said, you can do together with the coach. But if there's things that the client wants to do outside of that, then that's okay too. But maybe that could be a good thing, and then that helps motivate them, because motivation makes such a huge difference, doesn't it, in
Hmm.
in the relationship. Yeah,
True.
absolutely. Hmm.
And also, boundaries still matter.
Right.
Comparison does not mean permissiveness. Agreements are real and should be revisited honestly. Structure provides safety, and of course, clarity supports freedom. So you need to build boundaries, people, to each other. Not
Right.
everything. Do you think that you're a coach, you can do anything? No, you need to set the boundaries. These are the things that you can do. These are the things that I can do.
Right. Right. So, for example, right, yeah, you don't want to give your personal phone number to your client, but you don't want them
Yes.
calling you all hours of the night, and
Mhm.
you have to separate your professional life and your personal life. I think in any type of profession, but in coaching it's the same thing. You want to be able to separate those. Have a good work-life balance, right? And because if you let your clients into your personal life, then I think that can be dangerous in many ways, and you don't you don't want to be out of compliance and things in that way, right? You want to make sure you have that proper balance, but then it also helps to make sure you have those boundaries, like you said. So yeah, very important
Mm.
to do that.
And
Yes.
one more, Miss Jackie. When setbacks occur, recommitment is still skill to teach. Mm.
Right.
We're celebrating small wins, but if setbacks occur, we need to recommend ourselves that do it again. Uh, Insist to your clients that trial and error is the process to make you better. Just like setbacks.
Right.
Setbacks
Absolutely.
give you more alignment of what you are doing.
Right. Yeah, it's okay if that happens. If there's a setback, I think it's good to go back and see maybe what ended up happening. Ask questions about what happened, and maybe look for patterns of why that setback occurred, and then maybe what you and the client can work on together to help it not repeat the next time. So
yes, do it in a better way next time. And accountability without control is the moment coaching becomes transformational rather than transactional. The objective is not to produce obedience while the coach is present. It is to cultivate responsibility that survives absence. When clients act from ownership, motivation becomes renewable. They are no longer managed, they are self-directed. That is sustainable growth.
That's well said. I love that, Daniel.
Thank you, Miss Jackie. So would you please plug in something?
Sure. Oh gosh, my podcast, Designing with Love, I think I have episode 90 coming out tomorrow.
Yay!
So if anyone wants to learn,
Congratulations.
thank you. So if anyone wants to learn more about education and instructional design and the kind of work that I do, if they're looking to go into the field, they can follow the podcast, and they can look for it wherever you listen to your podcasts. And feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. I'm very active on there.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Jackie, because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering episodes for sure of the podcast itself. How about your upcoming book, partner?
Yes, I'm still trying to decide whether I want to go with self-publishing or if I want to go with a publishing company. So I'm trying to talk to some different people and see what I want to do. So once I decide on that, then I think I'll be able to move forward, because everything's ready to go. I'm torn between what to do between the two. So I just gotta move forward and make a decision and just go with it.
Yes, good luck for that. And once you publish, please do come over and book one review and let's talk about it.
Absolutely.
And people, please do listen to our other podcasts. As we are saying before, we are having AI 101 now. What can you listen to our AI 101, or while we are talking about AI 101? Last episode, we talked about big machines. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Called mainframe. Those are the 60s, 70s. What else we talk about last week? Oh, yesterday. Sorry. Yesterday.
Oh,
yesterday.
Yeah. For AI 101, we talked about beyond text, when AI sees, hears, and creates. That's what we talked about last week.
Okay. I'm confused. That's we talk about AI. Mainframe is Tech 101.
Yeah, and then Tech 101 was about early computers, about when machines filled the rooms. Yep. You got it.
Yeah, so people, please do listen for those upcoming AI 101 or Tech 101. They are not yet available on podcast, but we are live every Friday with Miss Jackie through all social media. So please watch us, listen to us. Sooner or later it will be published on the podcast itself. So support us and give an idea if you want to participate in each episode. Tell us the idea that you want to talk about, and we will give you our best of the best of the topic that you want to talk about. Right, Miss Jackie?
Great. Well, thank you for joining, and keep learning.
Moticon people, see you soon.